What's up, guys? This is C, and happy Saturday. I hope everybody had a fantastic Friday and will have an even better weekend. But we're here today to talk about one of my favorite shows, and that is Love After Lockup. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Now, this episode was titled Roses on the Bed. And when I say roses on the bed, literally almost everybody's segment has something to do with flowers or roses on the bed. So it was very appropriately titled. So the episode starts where it left off last week with Sean and Destiny, where Destiny's kind of grilling Sean about his age because she says that he told her he was 36 years old. And he's like, no, I told you I was 45. You may have thought I said 36 or thought I told you I was 36. Which I think is a huge difference between somebody saying I'm 36 versus 45. So Sean has kind of been with the bullshit since day one. And that prompted her to kind of ask him, other questions. And so she was like, well, what else aren't you telling me? How many children do you have? And he goes, I have 6. And she's like, 6 kids? She was like, but you told me 2. And he, was like, well, I didn't know how serious we would be, so I didn't bother to disclose that information. And so Destiny's kind of, a little leery because now she doesn't really know if she can trust Sean or not. But she then says in her confessional that she has some secrets of her own that she hasn't told Sean, and she ended up telling us that all over her body, because if you look all over her body, there are like tattoos everywhere, like she is like tatted, and it's kind of hard to make out what they are, but she points out a few of them to us, and they're like names of her lovers that she had in prison. So Destiny's secret, well, one of her secrets, I don't know if there are more, but one of them is that she has had sexual relations with women in prison, and that she doesn't intend on stopping, but she doesn't plan on telling Sean. So that is kind of a double standard where you want him to be honest and upfront with you about stuff, but you don't, feel the need to tell him about something as serious as having these relationships with these women. But she says that the big name across her chest, and for some reason I kept wanting to call it Faith, but it was Felicia. I guess that was who she thought was the one. And I'm sure, as with many, prison relationships, they kind of, go from person to person because you're just stuck in this, enclosed area with the same people all the time. But here and there, you got new people coming in, so you form different relationships with different people. And so she had another name, I believe, like right here, Monique or something, and April or Amy or something. But she's got several names on her body of women that she's been with, while she was incarcerated. But she, lets us know that she doesn't intend on stopping that lifestyle, that she liked it and that she was going to, keep it up. But they later on go to this room that Sean got for them. And it was a pretty nice hotel room, a jacuzzi suite, and she comes in and she's like, wow, oh yeah, she's excited because she hasn't slept in a bed, in years. So she says, since she's been locked up. So she wants to go take a shower, and Sean kind of lets us know, or in his confessional, he tells us that, he is, ready to sleep with her, ready to be with her. And it was like nasty because the stuff he was saying, it was just so, it was icky. It was like creepy, and he looked like really excited and like he was ready he was ready to get down. So she comes out of the bathroom with her towel on. You know, she ready to get right to it because she already said that, you know, she has to know that they're going to have a good sex life, you know, and that's going to determine whether or not they'll be together or if she'll stay with him. And so they put the camera people out and they kind of do their thing, and that's where the night ends for them. And so I guess it was pretty good because she said that it was the best sex that she had ever had. And so cringy, but that's what she said. And Sean must have been pretty blown away by it because he went and got, you know, coffee the next morning. He was up, dressed, you know, she was still in bed, and he went and got her coffee. And I forgot to mention something else. When she asked him, you know, about his 6 children, she asked, you know, are they all with the same person? And he tells her yes, which is, you know, the truth. But what he lied about was the last time he had actually been with their mom, which was, I don't know if it was a few months or a year ago or something, but he told her it was a few years ago. So he lied again. And when she meets the mother of his children, you know, that may come up as well, which will probably give her even more of a reason not to be with him, because I don't really think she wants to be tied down. And from the way she talks, I think Destiny is more of a free spirit, and she's not trying to be tied down, and she would rather be able to do what she wants to do when she wants to do it. But she still kind of needs somebody there to financially support her, because something tells me that she's not gonna hold down a 9 to 5 either. But they're laying down in the bed, and he's telling us that, you know, he wants to kind of keep control of her, you know, for these next few days, at least until her court date, so that his, you know, because $50,000 is on the line for him, and he's not trying to lose his money. And so he tells her that he kind of wants her to, you know, relax a little bit and kind of slow down on drinking and, you know, not to party. And she gets really, you know, on the defense. You know, she's just kind of like, you know, I know, you know, you don't have to tell me that. And at the same time, she's telling him he's not going to control her. And if she wants to drink, she's going to drink. If she wants to party, she's going to party. And there's nothing he can do about it. And so I'm kind of nervous for his money's sake, because he got himself into this situation, but it would be terrible to lose that money if she doesn't show up to court. And so they kind of end on that note, and she's just kind of telling him that he's not going to control her. She's going to do what she wants to do, but at the same time, she knows what she has to do. And so they pretty much end there. And then next, we go to Tyrese and Shonda, which again, we don't get much of this episode. They start with him being in the hotel room, getting ready. He's excited to go and pick Shonda up because today is supposed to be her release date. So he's showing us like drawers and stuff that he bought her, and he's packing them up, and he's all excited. And he was saying how, you know, he wants to be able to do things with her, like, you know, go on trips. And he made sure to tell us that he's ready to have sex with her, because like he told us last episode, you know, he's enamored, and the episode before that, you know, he's pretty much, you know, enamored by her big ass. And so he wants to experience that. So he puts on this like bright ass royal blue suit. I mean, it's just so rich. Like this suit from head to toe, he had on like a royal blue hat, I think, and then he had on like the suit with the matching tie. The only thing that wasn't blue was the shirt that he had on underneath the jacket, and he even had on royal blue now leather gaiters. Tyrese was ready to go get his boo. And so he's standing on the side of the road, just looking crazy as hell, just kind of looking like a pimp and waiting, you know, like a pimp that's waiting for his hoe to get out. So he's just standing there, and time is passing and time is passing, and still no Shonda. So he's getting antsy, and he's kind of wondering what's going on. So he said, so by this time, after a few hours, he went and sat in his Escalade and was just kind of sitting there waiting. And so he's pissed off because she hasn't come out. And that's pretty much where his story ends for the day. And then next we go on to Quaylon and Chevelle. Now, Quaylon is just, he is just so excited to be out of prison because, again, he spent 12 years of his life there. So he is just so excited to be out, to be free, to be able to go and do as he pleases, because I don't think he's like on parole. I think he is just a free man, free to go and do, you know, what he wants. So they go and get barbecue. And, you know, they're so excited to have him home. He's excited to be, you know, out to eat with his girl and his mom. And they even like, right, Quaylon was here. And Quaylon, his name is Quaylon. Mama called him Quaylon. But Chevelle calls him Quaylon. You know, she tries to, you know, jazz it up a little bit. And that's fine. I mean, whatever. But so I'll probably be referring to him as Quaylon or Quaylon, you know, throughout the reviews, just because they call him both. But he, you know, is sitting there and they're talking and whatnot. And so mom decides, you know, she had to go to the bathroom. So she gets up and she goes to the restroom. And what I thought was going to happen was that Chevelle was going to check him about, you know, where he intended on, you know, staying, because mom thinks one thing and Chevelle thinks something else. So I thought she was going to check him and make him kind of explain, but she didn't do that. And then, you know, mom shortly returned. So they were just kind of sitting there talking and chopping it up or whatnot. And then he decided, you know, it was time. They left and they went to the hotel. Well, mom thought, I don't know, she probably didn't think, but Chevelle had already, you know, set an Uber up or Lyft or something to come and get mom and take her back to her friend's house, because she, you know, wanted some alone time with Quaylon. So she had it set up while mom and Quaylon sat in the lobby and talked, I guess, waiting for her ride. That gave Chevelle a chance to go upstairs and kind of set the mood and set the atmosphere for getting ready to be with her man. So she lights candles, and it looked like she lit like the one wick Bath and Body Works candles, because I love those, and that's exactly what they look like. Of course they didn't show the brand, but I was like, okay, I see you. And then she had, you know, rose petals. Now she actually had rose petals on the bed. Like she had like bags of them. I don't know what Sean had on the bed. It was like, I want to say he had some flowers. I think he made like flowers in like a heart shape or something. But one of them, somebody, and I don't remember who it was, had like 2 or 3 like petals somewhere. Like it looked crazy. It looked bootleg as hell, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so, you know, Quaylon gets up and he finally makes it up to the room, and he's excited because, you know, he hasn't been with a woman in 12 years. So, you know, he was ready to get it in, or as he tells us, he's about to tear that ass up. Those were his words, not mine. So when he goes into the room, you know, she got this furry ass leopard robe on. It looked hot, you know, but, you know, she was trying to keep it cute, and she had the massage oils and kind of, you know, had the ambiance, the romantic, you know, setting. They were getting kind of romantic, and so she lays him on the bed to give him a massage, and I'm kind of like, damn, he gonna let him shower or nothing, you know? But he probably took a shower before he left prison or whatever. But I don't know, that's just me. But and then she turns him over on his back, and like she didn't give a damn that the cameras were there, because like she was kissing him from, you know, the top to the bottom, and he's the one that puts the cameras out and tells them, you know, y'all gotta go. So they leave, and they end up finishing their night. And I forgot to mention that they had a talk. They did have a talk, the three of them, and it seemed like he said that he was gonna stay with Chevelle, that he was gonna stay in Kansas City with her. And Mom was just wanting him to know that, you know, well, you always have this support system in Texas. You know, we don't want you to get in trouble, and, you know, you can always come home. You know, she was saying that. But on the other hand, she was, in her confessional, she was almost like, Chevelle has another thing coming if she think I'm gonna leave my son here. So it sounds like she's got something up her sleeve to try and get him to come home. But we'll find out later on. And that's kind of where their segment ended for the episode. And then we move on to Scott and Lindsay. Now, Scott has made it home by this time. He's at home. He's on the phone with the prison, and they got him on hold because he's wanting to know if Lindsay was still there. So at this time, Lindsay's mom and her daughter show up to his house, and he's like, you know, I'm on the phone right now waiting to see what they tell me, you know, about whether or not she's still there. And so they come in, and again, like I said last week, you know, Mom, she didn't know the specifics about what was happening, but she did kind of have an idea, you know, about her daughter possibly being with the shit. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But they're sitting there and they're talking, you know, and the daughter is just kind of saying how sad she was that her mom wasn't released, and because she was, you know, looking forward to seeing her. And the guy or woman or whoever it was, they had their voice, you know, disguised or distorted, gets back on the phone and tells him that yes, she is still, you know, incarcerated. And so he was asking why, but they couldn't give him that information. And so the mom asked if they could speak to her case manager, and, you know, they transferred them to the case manager. So they're talking to the case manager, and they kind of want to know why Lindsay wasn't released. But the case manager tells them that that's not public information, and that he's not allowed to tell them that. And that, you know, if they find out, it will have to be from Lindsay, because they're not able to disclose that information. Well, Mom goes outside and she's talking to production, and she's just kind of telling them that, you know, Lindsay is just smart enough to stay in trouble. Meaning, and she was saying it without saying it, I think that Lindsay has fed Scott this pipe dream, had him move all the way down here to Mississippi, because they actually live near me, and had, you know, them move, had him uproot and move here. And he's been sending her money, thousands of dollars, and helping support, you know, Mom and her daughter. And I don't think that she has the intentions of really following through on these dreams that she's been selling him. But he's all in. But I'm thinking in the back of my mind that Lindsay is not. And he's mad, and he's like, well, and he pissed me off, and he has done this, you know, once before by saying something crazy. But he's like, yeah, you know, Lindsay's a very attractive woman, and she probably had some haters or something in prison, and they, you know, jumped her or something, or wanted to jump her or something. I'm thinking Lindsay probably has a mouthpiece on her too, and you can just kind of tell by her, you know, video confessions that, you know, she probably will talk shit. And I mean, you don't know what happened, but I'm thinking she probably said, okay, well, let me extend this stay a little longer because I'm not really ready to, you know, be with him in the way that he wants me to be, so I can continue to milk this situation from the inside and not have to physically be with him just yet. So she's probably trying to work out something to where she doesn't have to do that. And so that's kind of where their story ends. And then we get on to Maurice and Jessica. Now, they start where last episode, you know, he was telling her to just drive. I guess she didn't just drive because they're still in Compton, or they're still in, you know, Los Angeles. And so he's driving this time, and I'm like, bro, does he have a license, or, you know, is he even supposed to be driving? But it is what it is. So he takes her to his daughter's house, or his baby mom's house, who he hasn't seen in a while. Like he said, he's watched her, he had to watch her grow up by pictures, and so he is so excited. And Jessica, you know, she's got her phone and she's kind of recording the moment where he gets to see his daughter, who is just absolutely gorgeous. She is just a cutie pie. And so she was so happy to see her dad, and she runs and she rushes him, she jumps in his arms, and they were really, you know, enjoying the moment. And Jessica was kind of off to the side, and she expresses to us, and when I say us, her in her confession, that she's kind of, you know, worried a little bit because she has never had to have a conversation with his baby's mother. And I don't know how she thought it was gonna go. I don't know if she thought it was just gonna be confrontational or what, but in all actuality, the baby mom, the daughter, the grandma, or whoever else was there, they were not featuring Jessica at all. I mean, she sat in the house with them, and it was almost like she was invisible, you know. They didn't talk to her. He didn't, you know, kind of, you know, involve her in any of the conversations. They were all just kind of talking about stuff that they knew about. And it didn't, you know, involve Jessica. So Jessica was kind of in her feelings about that. Well, she wasn't kind of, she was very much so in her feelings about that. And the baby mom was just kind of wondering, you know, how he met Jessica, because she has never known him to deal with a white girl, as she says, in the past. And he kind of talks about how their relationship fizzled, how they were together for a year and a half, and then, you know, she got pregnant, and she told him, you know, that he couldn't continue to get into trouble, and if he got in trouble again, that she was gonna be gone. And I don't know, I guess he didn't think that, you know, she meant it, but he got in trouble again, and she indeed left and didn't come back. So she kept her word and she moved on. But when he got back into the car with Jessica, I'm guessing they were getting ready to leave, Jessica goes off. I mean, she is just like, you know, you just sat there and you just ignored me. You didn't, I mean, like, she was going off. She was, you know, cussing, and like she was mad, and he was kind of like, you know, what the hell, you know, what are you talking about? He was like, you know, that was them Michaela's people. They don't know you, you know. And I don't, again, I mean, I kind of get why she was upset, but at the same time, you don't really have a reason to be upset, because what was he supposed to say? Oh yeah, this is my wife, y'all. Yeah, she held me down while I was in prison, and blah, because they don't give a damn about that. They don't care. So I don't understand why she was so upset. I mean, she was mad, but he kind of brushed it off and was like, man, you tripping. And so now she's thinking, okay, well, when he was in prison, it was just me and him. You know, now he's out, it's me, him, and everybody else that was in his world prior to him going to prison. And, you know, I'm feeling like now I'm trying to be a part of it, and he's not including me in his life. But he just got out of, I mean, I don't know what she really expects. But they did go to, I guess it's the next day, and they're staying at his cousin's house or his aunt's house or something. But it's, you know, a bunch of like kids in there and other people, like pizza boxes. It's just shit everywhere. It wasn't an Airbnb for sure, but they're staying there, and he's talking to his cousin, one of his closest cousins, and, you know, he was telling him about, you know, a lot of the things that have changed since he was locked up. He was kind of telling him about the people who were dying or who had passed away, and he even had like a few obituaries of some of, you know, the homies or their friends or whoever that aren't here anymore. And so he talked about some guy getting stabbed 20 times, and, you know, Jessica is like taking all of this in, and that's not the life that she's from. You know, she hasn't been exposed to any of that, so she's kind of sitting over there like, what the fuck? You know, like, damn, you know. And, you know, Maurice is like, man, that's crazy, and, you know, and so that is even more of a reason that he feels he needs to get out of Compton, that he doesn't need to stay in Compton, because, you know, he doesn't know if there is much of a chance of survival or for him staying out of trouble if he stays. So he and Jessica leave and they go to the store. So when they come out of the store, some random dude in a little SUV, I guess, he pulls up, and you can hear him in the background. They don't show his face, obviously, but you can hear him, and he's asking them, you know, where you from, you know, or where you from, or whatever. And so Maurice is kind of like, what the fuck, you know. And then he was like, did y'all just see that? And he was like, dude, you know, walked up and did like the shooting motion with his hand and was like click clack or whatever, you know, like he was gonna shoot him. So Jessica is freaked the fuck out by now. She was like, no, we gotta get out of here. I don't want to stay in Compton. You know what I mean? Like, she is like tripping, because she was like, I got a house in Vegas, it's safe, and I, you know, a job, a car, you know, and it basically it's just safe, and it's away from that kind of lifestyle. And so she's ready to go, but it's like, okay, he can't leave. I mean, his transfer has not gone through yet. He don't want to take the chance of getting in trouble, because they just gonna ship his ass back to prison. So, I mean, what can he really do? So they kind of end there. And that was pretty much the episode. I know I may have left out a few things, and if there's anything that I missed, any, you know, important parts or any funny parts that I missed, please put them down in the comments below. Like I said, this is one of my favorite shows, and there's always so much going on, and I try and give you as much of a play-by-play as I can, and I don't do it as they show the segments on the show. I break them down couple by couple, because it helps me keep up with it a little easier. But again, I get to talking on here and not really paying attention to my notes, and I may leave something out. So let me know what I missed. Please subscribe. Please like this channel. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out more content, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will try to do the same, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.